Joining me on the show today is Yorgan Decastro, 5-0, heavyweight, newly signed UFC fighter, fighting October 5th, UFC 243 in Australia, making his UFC debut. Thanks for coming on the show, Yorgan. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, man? Very good, man. It's a pleasure being on the show, man. You know I like you.
Yeah, we've been following each other a long time, Yorgan, and I'm glad to see you at this point. You finally got your contract to the UFC after coming off that incredible win for the first week of the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series back in June. How have things changed as far as support and everything that's been happening to you since that fight back in June?
I mean, everything will remain the same. Of course, that people know me more now. I mean, everywhere I go, people know me. The gas station, the Walmart, everywhere. But the rest will remain the same. I wake up 5:30. I work till 3 o'clock. Then I get my work in. I pick up my daughter in the school, and then back to the gym, and then get home at 9 o'clock. I do that every single day.
Have you been able to add any more into your, any more time into your training camp since now, you are newly signed and the biggest fight of your career coming up? Have you been able to, manage a little bit more time to train and get ready for this fight?
No, we train like always. We do. I do strength and conditioning 4 times a week, 3 to 5, like Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday and Friday. And I do the rest in the regiment. Jiu-jitsu, kickbox, 6 to 7 and 7 to 8. And sparring twice. Wednesday I try force and Saturday I lose MMA. So I train every day, every single day.
Excellent.
When I say every day, it's Monday to Sunday.
Excellent.
Every day.
As far as the win, that win that got you the contract, how big was that for you? As far as you're 32 years old. You were talking about this is the time for you. How big was it to get that contract at this time, in that fashion?
That was the right time. I mean, I'm 32 as a heavyweight. This is the time. This is your prime, and if you don't get in the show by 30 something, it's almost like you might as well quit. So I think that everything happened for a reason. That was my time, and now I'm about to prove that I belong to the UFC.
Now, speaking of the UFC, you're making your pro debut. You're traveling a long way, and you're going into not only you're used to going into someone else's territory because you fought all over New England as far as in other promotions, but you're going into another country, Yorgan, and you're fighting a gentleman in Justin Taffa who is from that country in Australia. How you feel about going that far and facing someone in their home turf for your UFC debut?
I love it. I think all the pressure is on him. He have his family down there. He's supported right there. So if someone has to be pressured, it's him. So I'm gonna go there and swing to the fans and do what I do. I'm gonna look for finish since the bell ring and that's it. I have no pressure on me.
Well, your last fight, you were training for a whole different animal in there. You were training for a wrestler, big time wrestler, where you showed you could take that part of the game out. You've showed in the past you are a striker by nature, and you showed that, in your previous fights. You're meeting another gentleman that's going to stand toe-to-toe with you. Are you having fun in training camp being able to go back and just, work on your stand-up and know that you're going to be in there going toe-to-toe against another huge dude making his UFC debut as well?
Absolutely. I love it. The fight camp has been fun. We've been doing a lot of pen work, a lot of strength and condition. We get ready for 3 rounds of a strike. And when it comes to strike and when it comes to brawl, I'm a black belt on that shit. So I hope he meets me in the middle of the cage and we throw bombs. That's what we get ready for strike and match, and see who is the best.
Well, here's the thing, Yorgan. You're going into Australia, into his country, his world, where he's only had 3 professional fights. They've all been in Australia. So you've been around a lot longer than him. Do you think that's going to play a factor, and that's going to kind of even out the playing field? Him having home turf, and you having the experience in the cage.
Absolutely not, because he has 3 fights, but he do train with the high level guys. He trained with Mark Hunt, Taito Vasa, so He's been Thailand trained, so I expect a good fight. 3-0 mean nothing for me. I'm gonna go ready for war. So I believe he's good. He's a game guy with a solid striker, and that's what we're getting ready for. We're getting ready for this. This is UFC. This is a high level. This can't get any better than this. So we go ready for whatever he brings. I'm gonna be ready for.
You spoke about cross training and some of the camps you've been visiting other than Regiment, your home base. Been going to Lausanne's, been going to Triforce a lot too. Who's been helping you in there, and who you've been getting rounds with, and who's been mimicking this guy to kind of get your game plan going?
So I have. That's the thing. We have perfect guys for him. I have Greg Rebello at Triforce, which has been my main guy. He's a southpaw, almost identical body type, and he's really good striker. I have Mike Rodriguez, Steve Walker, and I just had not a big guy, 6-0 from Bellator. His name is Domingos. Another Canadian dude come to help me out. He's 290, solid guy. So my camp has been great, and man, I can't wait.
Excellent, big names there. A lot of stuff going on. Now you're fighting on, October 5th. The Boston cards a couple of weeks later. Was that ever in kind of your eyesight that you wanted to make your debut in Boston in kind of your home turf?
Yeah, we asked for it, but they was already offered us Justin Taffa. As your first fight, you can't really say no to UFC. So, and this is the biggest card. Going to be about 60,000 people. I will be fighting ESPN. So preliminary card, so this is big for me. We couldn't say no.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. We're going to have another chance to fight in Boston. I hope so.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, speaking of this huge card, you got Holly Holmes on this card. You got Whitaker on this card. Bangers, Raquel Pennington on this card. So this is huge. And you're going into, your pro debut, not your pro debut, your UFC debut in another man's territory. Where Whitaker... that's where he's from. So the crowd is going to be blasting there. Are you looking forward to, that energy that you really haven't felt before?
I mean, I don't really care, though. I'm going to go there. I'm going to swing to the fence. I'm going to block everything outside, and I'm going to focus on Justin Taffa. Because if I don't hurt him, he's going to hurt me. So his kill will be killed. That's it.
Yorgan, a couple of last questions before I let you go. You want to stay busy. I know you're into it. This is you want this as your profession. You want to do this full time. I know you have another job to support your family. You've been busy, buddy. You've been fighting every 3 months. You want to stay active. This will be your third fight. What are you looking? How active are you looking to stay? And what kind of statement do you need to make here in the heavyweight division in Australia on this card against this gentleman to really get the eyes and keep this train going?
That's it. My perfect scenario will be win, get their bonus, and fight again in December 14 in Vegas. And then I will give up my job and do this as full time. Because I want to fight 3 months and focus on improvement and get better. That's my goal. Fight 3 months and do this as full time.
Excellent. Last thing, brother. What's left to do? We're a couple of weeks away. I seen you on social media. I think you had your last session at Lausanne's. What's left to do in this training camp before you get on that plane for a long traveling period on there? How you feeling about all that too?
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me?
No, I didn't hear you.
All right, no, I'll say it again.
Yeah.
You're traveling a long way to Australia. What's left to do in the last couple of weeks of this training camp? I know you had your last session at Lausanne's. What's left to do before we board that plane and head over for that long travel?
Now it's all game plan about drills and about visualize what we're going to do in the fight. We're going to do strength and condition 3 more times. I will run 3 more times, and then it's light work, pad work, game plan, and that's we're going to get there. I will be flying Sunday, so we'll get there Monday, and we still got a couple of days to work and get your mindset and bang on Sunday. We're gonna put on a show.
Well, we know that. Who's gonna be taking the trip? Who's gonna be in your corner with you?
I'm gonna be Tommy Teixeira, Brian Raposa, and my uncle. My uncle who brought me to this. So
excellent.
It's gonna be good.
Excellent. So you'll have family and you'll have the regiment crew behind you, the main components there. And you'll have all New England here back at home watching you do your thing there, Yorgan, because you shocked a lot of people being that big underdog for that first week of the Contender Series. Now you're going into another guy's home turf. Even though you have the experience, I would imagine you might be the underdog going into his world, but it doesn't matter. You're going into there being two heavyweights making their UFC debut. I can't wait. Last thing, social media and shout outs, Yorgan. I'll let you get back to your training and all that good stuff.
Thank you very much, guys. Follow me, Instagram, Yorgan Decastro, Twitter, Yorgan Decastro, and Facebook, Yorgan Decastro. And don't blink, because my fight gonna be a bang. Thank you, my man.
Well, there you go. 5-0, Yorgan Decastro, fighting out of Fall River, Massachusetts, making his UFC debut, UFC 243, October 5th in Australia. Yorgan, thanks so much for coming on, and man, we'll be watching and waiting to give you congrats when you get back home.
Thank you very much, bud. Appreciate it.